All right. Welcome to another episode of Bullheaded. I'm your host, Sean Tyson, here with my boys, Zhu and P-Bush. What's up, man?
Doing well, man. Except for my Bears, going on a 6-game losing streak. Maybe they'll end it soon. They'll end up losing to Deshaun Watson, and the narrative will continue. So.
Oh my Lord! Remember we were so hyped during training camp. Mitchell Trubisky looking good in practice, looking real strong, got a good arm.
He benched him.
Oh, Mitchell Trubisky!
And he benched him.
Mm-hmm. There's a reason why, man. There's a reason why he ain't good, man.
Ted Phillips, the president's supposedly going to retire. I really need to clean house.
They need to clean house. They need a fully clean house because
I agree.
That a disaster. But yeah, me, man. I only got 2 fantasy football teams in the playoffs. Should have been 3 for 3. Should have been 3 for 3 this year, man.
Thank you.
Oh my God, man. My team went off the week I'm out of the playoffs, man. Nothing worse than seeing your team drop 142, and it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything. I didn't even look at my team, and I just see, man, Justin Jefferson's an animal. Corey Davis.
After next year.
Travis Kelce. I'm like, Jesus Christ, my team's going off. But it's all worthless. Josh Allen. So I got to move on from that. But, yeah, pretty good, though.
Yeah. Fantasy football, as usual. I had my hopes up. I had, a 2 or 3 game winning streak. Thought I had maybe a 0.2% chance to make the playoffs, and it all got dashed by P-Bush, and I appreciate it. So
go.
But
sorry.
It's all good, man. That's the ways of fantasy football. But get into this first topic. We're going to talk about a guy who's kind of been everywhere, James Harden. Kind of been doing his own thing with, going out during the pandemic, hanging out with rappers, doing everything but, I guess, making himself available to the Rockets. And, there's a lot of chatter around where he's probably going to end up going. The Nets, maybe staying in Houston, the Sixers. I want to ask the fellas, what do they think his best destination is? And Zhu, actually want to start off with you.
Yeah, you know me. I'm a big James Harden fan. But after this week, man, it's a disaster, man. What's he doing, man? Going to Vegas, going to ATL with Lil Baby or whatever. Giving the grown man $100,000. Why are you giving a grown man, a rapper, so much damn money? You're giving a rich guy more money, man. What are you doing? What is he trying to flex to, man? What are you doing, James? I know you're rich. Why are you giving a rich man money? Stop it, James. Give it to charity. Why are you giving who cares, man? It's not even like Drizzy Drake. It's some irrelevant rapper, man. I'm sorry. I'm not a fan, man. I'm not a fan, man. I'm not a fan of that, man.
Lil Baby's the truth.
Oh, man. His voice a little ugly, man. It's a little ugly, man. Stop it, man. So I don't know what about this grown man got a little giving a grown man money and a bag full of money. So James Harden, he's trying to force his way out, right? Trying to leverage his situation. But man, you caused this problem, man. You got Chris Paul here. You got his butt shipped out for your buddy Russell Westbrook. Okay, that obviously a failed experiment. You got him shipped out because they no longer wanted to play together. Now you're crying about the Houston culture not being good. Man, you are the Houston culture.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, James. I love you. Your talent is elite, superstar level, dropping 30 points in the playoffs. You get buckets, man. But man, this leadership, man, and the lack of the lack of accountability of your franchise. They got. Oh, stop it! Stop it! But and now he wants to force his way out. And now he wants the Bucks, the Miami Heat. He's wants to go to all these contending teams now, man. So he's trying to expand the list. But the problem with James Harden right now, he doesn't have an agent. His mama is his agent right now. So right now it's him and his mama leaking to Woj and Shans about all the teams he wants to go to. Yeah. He needs Clutch Sports, man. He needs an agency that knows how to get his dog. He needs Rich Paul. Man, that dude.
ACP a contract, I'm sure he can work something for Harden, work a trade.
Legitimate, man. That dude, Anthony Davis gets Rich Paul, goes to LA, win a championship. So that guy got it done. James Harden needs an agent, first of all. Because what he's trying to do right now, he has no idea what he's doing. But when he brought the Miami Heat, I'm like, that is an interesting team, man. Because Miami Heat, they have the assets. They do. Give them the young, Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson. They got some nice young players. They got draft compensation. They can make a trade to get a James Harden, especially the young assets that they have, future first-round picks. Like Tyler here has a chance to be like a Devin Booker type of player, a guy that he modeled his game after. So maybe that's worthwhile. Like that's an option to consider. But like you got that option. If I'm James Harden, I'm gonna go to a place with a set culture with Jimmy Butler as the leader, man. Because Jimmy Buckets with James Harden, Bam Adebayo. Now we talking. We talking, man. That's a roster.
That's a good team, even in the West. If that team was in the West, that's a good team. Yeah. And that's something that the East needs. And why, if you noticed, every single one of the teams on his list right now is in the Eastern Conference. He wants to switch. He wants a better shot because he's being held back, obviously not partially because of his own issues and, not being able to mesh well or the culture, whatever you want to call it. But the fact that he also has to go through LeBron James, Kawhi Leonard every year, it wasn't going to work for him. He's a great player. He's one of the best scorers I've ever seen, but he's not the killer guy. He's not an absolute killer like LeBron can be, like Kawhi can be, or we have seen in Kawhi, I should say, not this past year.
I give it up on Kawhi Leonard, man. He went to bed in a Game 7 against a young Denver Nugget baby team, man. They are babies, man. They just signed their max contract.
They have a top 10 player in the league, though. In Jokic, they have a top 10 player.
I give you that. But technically, before the season, they had 2 top 10 players. Paul George dropped out because that dude went to bed multiple times. So he out.
$225 million.
Yeah,
my bad.
That's another topic for another day. But damn, PG wets the bed and gets compensated. NBA, man, crazy money going around.
Money thrown around. But look, I think that of the 4 teams he has in his list right now, I think Milwaukee and Brooklyn are both just unattainable. The Bucks kind of gave all of their value.
No trade, man. Yeah, there's no possible trade you could think of.
There's no possible trade, and the only thing Brooklyn could do is trade Kyrie or Durant is pretty much what the Rockets have said, and they ain't doing that. Maybe they might consider Kyrie, but I don't think it would actually end up going through. I think the Heat is a very interesting team, especially because at the beginning of mid-season, they declared Tyler Hero and Bam untradeable. Now, this was before COVID and, before the bubble, and obviously Tyler Hero came into his own. Bam obviously kind of became a star, earned a $160 million contract. But are they tradable now? I think that maybe Tyler is. I don't think Bam is tradable just because they signed him to a massive deal. But I still think the Sixers are going to be the ones to pull it off. I really do. I think they're betting on giving up Ben Simmons. And if
I'm Daryl Morey, I say no. Take Tobias Harris. I would try to push Tobias Harris and whatever else. Like, you ain't touching Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid. Yeah, it's Harden with those two. You got a team.
If they're asking Brooklyn for, Kyrie and KD and not Karis LeVert, Jared Allen, whatever, then they're going to ask for either Ben Simmons or Embiid, and they're not going to want Tobias Harris, right? You can kind of see that that's where it's going. But by offering more teams in his quote-unquote list, I think it's pushing Daryl Morey to really think about, can they make this trade without Ben Simmons? Because you're giving up a solid future, right, in Ben Simmons, or you're getting or you're getting an MVP caliber player in the moment for another 3 to 4 years. What bet? He's an analytics guy. I'm sure he's crunching the numbers. But I still think the Sixers are going to be the ones to pull it off. But the Heat being in serious conversations will be rather interesting because that team, you want to talk about possibly going back to the finals. If they make that trade, they're going back and meeting the Lakers.
Absolutely, man. And I think for James, man, South Beach makes a lot of sense, man. Because it makes a lot of sense, man. Get his butt in shape, man. Pat Riley won't take this garbage that he's pulling right now, man. Pulling right out against the Rockets, man. Got Pat Riley.
Riley runs a tight ship, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm. Get him in shape.
Yeah, I was about to disagree with you, Zoo, but I forgot Pat Riley's the owner, and he doesn't play that in Miami, which you got to have because if you had a loose owner in Miami, they probably wouldn't be as good as they have shown in the past. For James Harden, I have to, if I'm the GM or whoever's making, I guess, the move, it has to be a guy that's an equal star. Like, I just can't take a bunch of parts. Like, there's guys that, you could believe in, like the LeVerts and Dinwiddies and all that stuff, but I got to get a star. So, like, that's why I think Miami is, like, a nice spot. But I think if they were to trade with Miami, if I'm Houston, I'm asking for Bam. If I don't get Bam, I'm hanging up the phone. So I have to get Bam.
Really?
Yeah, I have to.
What if they package, like, Duncan, Tyler Hero? They give you Goran, maybe?
Kendrick Nunn.
No,
Kendrick Nunn, yeah.
The only guy in that trade.
Give me Goran. I think they would consider it. If they give you Hero and Goran, I think that they would consider
Hero's the only guy I feel like that can be a future All-Star. Duncan's not a future All-Star, neither is Goran. And Goran's old.
Yeah, but didn't he play did he play for Houston ever? I thought he did.
Man, he's a journeyman. He played for every team. Man.
Yeah. There you go.
He really has. But I ain't gonna lie, like, if I was Houston and I could get, like, they probably wouldn't trade Simmons, but if I can get, like, Embiid and Harris and, like, pick, I would do it.
They ain't trading Embiid for
I would. No. I would rather trade. All right, I'm not on this may spur another conversation, but I'd rather trade Embiid than Simmons. I'm not trading Simmons.
We talked about this, and it was tough because it's two very different players, but I think, like, if you look back a couple of years, right, didn't Harden average, like, when he didn't average 30, he averaged like 28 or 9, but he led the league in assists. Was that the year that he played with Dwight Howard in Houston? Because I wonder, like, how he would play if Simmons, let's say, is not on the team, and it's Harden and Embiid. How would they play? I feel like that would fit better than Simmons and Harden.
Yeah, I think Embiid and Harden would fit better. I'm just like, I don't like Embiid's, like, physical shape and, like, his injury history. If Embiid was, like, fully healthy and didn't have injury history and, like, be like, I feel like he's a little lazy, I would be more on board with it. But it's like, I don't want to be in a situation 3 years after that and then Embiid's damaged and Harden's, like, on the backside. At least with Simmons, he's going to be good for a while, I feel like, because he never gets injured. He's a really good defensive player. And I think having somebody like that beside Harden would be nice.
True. They need to really solidify their post, though. They need to bring somebody in, whoever that is.
Yeah.
Or make another trade, somehow make it like a 3-team trade and bring someone else in. I don't know.
Yeah. But staying on the NBA front, ESPN just recently did a NBA Top 100. Sparked a lot of debate. I think most people had LeBron being number one. A lot of people were shocked with Anthony Davis being number 2, but I think that's more so just them winning the championship. But it's a lot of up and down. I'm going to go ahead, and it's maybe one of the guys' talking points, but I'm going to go ahead and say my surprise was Jamal Murray being low at 21. Like, that really shocked me. And I think because of his playoff run, he should have at least been in the top 15, but then you'd have to take somebody out. So I'm going to leave it to these guys to see who they think was too high, too low in the NBA Top 100. And P-Bush, I'm going to let you start this one off.
Well, I'm going to start with arguably the worst placement, I think, in the entire list, and that's Zion Williamson at number 19. Are you kidding me? You're putting Zion Williamson at 19th best player in the league.
Projection for this season.
Russell Westbrook is 36th. 36, and you're saying Zion Williamson is better than Russell Westbrook by 17 players.
I don't know about 17 players, but I like Zion more than Russell Westbrook.
Oh my God! No! Not right now. Yes. Not right now. And then you could also even put Lonzo Ball at 54 ahead of Zach LaVine.
Oh, our boy. That's
famous. The two Pelicans, I think, are two of the worst placements in this entire thing. I don't know why anybody would pay for ESPN Plus to see this list. I thought it was atrocious. I honestly don't understand, unless you're paying for Disney Plus and you're in the package. That's the only way. Dude, I read this list and I was like, you got to be kidding me right now. But look, I would say the top 10 was pretty consistent. I mean, Anthony Davis, a little bit of a shock, but that's kind of recency bias. Giannis probably could have been put there with back-to-back MVPs, just as like a player overall. Luka, pretty high. I was surprised. Lillard ahead of Curry. There were a couple things that really stuck out to me. More so on players being just comparatively being ranked higher than others that I didn't agree with necessarily.
Yeah, for me, it was definitely Zach LaVine out of the top 50 players.
I couldn't believe it.
What? Man, Zach LaVine, 25, 5-5. I'm sorry. There's not that many guys in the NBA. They could drop 25 points a game and be able to score at all three levels on the field. This guy can hit the three, got the mid-range, gets to the lane, man, pretty easily, coming from an elite athlete with a high skill set. And then you see Alonzo Ball's face there, man. Lonzo Ball, the man that shoots less than 50% from the free throw line, man. He finally fixed his jump shot after shooting sideways, and he finally adjusted free throw. Man, I don't know what was, man, like the guy finally learned how to shoot a basketball correctly. And you have that guy in front of Zach LaVine. Insane, man. So that's the first thing that blew me away, man. And I'm sorry, AD number 2. Stop it. AD is not the second best player in the NBA. He's not. He's got no leadership skills. He's a beta. He's a sidekick. He's a really good Robin. Like, you need the guy, and then you got AD as the complimentary guy. Nothing wrong with being a Robin. Scottie Pippen was a Robin. He's a Hall of Famer, top 50 player of all time. Like, nothing wrong with being a Robin. And he was LeBron's Robin, and he was a hell of a Robin, dropping 30 points, even hitting a game winner in the playoffs. But number two, do you know who I want over Anthony Davis? Luka Doncic, man. Luka Doncic is a Batman. Luka Doncic is the franchise. Luka Doncic is the primary ball hit. Yes, I have Luka Doncic number 2 from his epic playoff appearance. First ever appearance, man, as a second-year player against the LA Clippers, man. Kawhi Leonard, Paul George. This dude dropping 40-point, man, 40-point triple-double. Man, dropping 30-point triple-doubles, man. That's what Luka Doncic does, man. He makes teammates better. He made Seth Curry's value go up. He made Maxi Kleber, a name I actually know in my head. Maxi Kleber does not deserve to be in my mind in the basketball world, man.
Do you know what you sound like, Grant? You sound like when I pitched to you that the Miami Heat were going to be the dark horse in the finals, and I named all the names on the Heat, and you said, they're all nobodies, blah, blah, blah. Well,
they are nobodies. That's my point.
Let me finish. Jimmy Butler starts dropping 30-point triple-doubles, making his team better. Is he the second best player in the NBA?
Remember when I told you that Jimmy Butler, I told you I would take him over Joel Embiid. I said Jimmy Butler was a top 10 player.
That's not true, though.
Okay, but Luka Doncic did it without Kristaps Porzingis. And Porzingis played, they actually had an opportunity to upset the Clippers. They had an opportunity. But the guy got injured, man. Tore his knee. So imagine Jimmy Butler didn't have Bam Adebayo in the conference finals.
He didn't
in the finals. In the finals. I'm talking about the conference finals, man.
True.
Conference finals.
It's the East. Let's be honest.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, you need your sidekick. You need your Robin. And Luka Doncic had Kristaps Porzingis, a man dropping 26 points in the bubble.
Yeah,
and they had an opportunity to beat the Clippers. Because I would say if the Denver Nuggets could beat the Clippers, Dallas Mavericks, I would say similar talent level, could also beat the Clippers. As a second-year player, man, Luka Doncic, man, Jesus Christ, this guy's got next. He's got next. When LeBron retires, he will be the best player in the NBA. Best player in the NBA.
You think so? In like 2 years?
Yeah, whenever LeBron decides to kick it, which I don't know, he might be 40 years old and still dropping 25, 10, and 5, man. I have no idea. But the minute LeBron retires, Luka Doncic is the man. So I have him at number 2 right now.
Wow.
Number 2.
I mean, I know that the list that they made is kind of, it takes into account injuries, a lot, right? I don't know how John Wall even made the list. He hasn't played basketball in 2 years. Let's be honest. I mean, John, sure, you're going purely on name, but if they're going on 80 at number 2, and that's based on how he played this past bubble, John Wall hasn't even played in 2 years. I don't know if they should take that into account. I thought Luka was placed well. I mean, for how much he jumped from last year, based on what he did. Like you said, Zoo, he had a monster performance. Almost, they lost in 6, right, to the Clippers. Mm-hmm. I think. I thought, obviously, I think Durant dropped just because of his injury, but I think he should be number 2. I think that's without debate. Kevin Durant. I mean, he's proved himself more than Luka has. And he's obviously as talented, revolutionized the game as much as Luka has and likely will. So I don't know. At the moment, I would put him at number 2, but I still think you could argue that Giannis should be number 2 just because of his MVPs, his back-to-back MVPs.
Giannis, the Greek freak, the man that can't make free throws in the playoffs, the man with no mid-range, the man with no post moves. He got no skill, man. Oh, he's not
defensive player of the year.
Well, I didn't give the MVP to him. He wasn't my MVP last year. It was LeBron James, man. It was LeBron James that deserved MVP, and as you've seen in the bubble, man, dominated. Man,
and that's why he won. Man. That's why he wins Finals MVPs. Giannis doesn't. Giannis wins MVPs. And obviously, LeBron has already won his MVPs. But look, you could argue he was put at 3rd. He was put at number 3. Are you saying that that's too low?
Giannis?
Or too quote unquote high? You know? Yeah. Do you think where should he have been?
I think Kawhi Leonard is better than Giannis Antetokounmpo.
They put Kawhi pretty low. And Harden.
Oh,
I was pretty surprised.
Because Kawhi went
because of this past week.
Bad. Oh yeah. Oh.
But yeah, Kawhi wetting the bed. That's true.
Yeah, horrible, man. And James Harden also just getting gentlemen swept again.
Ooh, also like Spicy P at 24. I mean,
I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of that guy.
I don't like that. There was a lot. I mean, let's see. You got to remember, Ja Morant was 12 spots lower than Zion Williamson, and Ja Morant won Rookie of the Year. What is that shit?
Politics, man.
Yeah,
that's all that is.
Man, I give you that. Ja Morant should be closer up with because after one season, Ja Morant had a better year.
He should be in front of Zion.
But they are projecting Zion staying healthy. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. They're guessing Zion.
They're projecting on what happened. Mm-hmm. And that makes no sense.
Yeah, dude, Zion Williamson? What do you mean? Dude, if the man stays healthy, he was 24-8. Yeah. 24-8?
Well, I'm very curious to see how he does this year. I want to see if he can lead the Pelicans to get into the play-in or the Grizzlies. I think it'll end up
they better be in the play-in tournament, man. Top 10 seed, that is not hard, man. That is not hard at all. I'm sorry.
Make it the bubble.
Well, yeah, because Zion didn't play half the bubble, so that's why. But if their team stays healthy, they should definitely be in the play-in. Just like Zach LaVine's Chicago Bulls, man. They better be in the play-in tournament. They better. They better be in the play-in tournament, man. All you got to be the top 10 seed, and you got to win 2 games to get into the playoffs? Come on, man. They got to get it done. And Zach LaVine, after this year, man, he'll be a top. ESPN will have him top 30 player next year.
Right. Really? Is that your prediction?
Yes.
I wouldn't know.
Because he'll put up the same numbers, and they will win more games. And with this play-in tournament,
they'll be 40.
Make the playoffs. They'll possibility of making the playoffs.
Maybe top 40. I see him at 39, 40.
I don't know, man. It's hard to name 40 guys better than Zach LaVine. It's hard to name.
Clearly, ESPN can name 55. So,
Lonzo Ball, man. I'm sorry. God damn.
I still think in the top 10, there's no way Harden should be below Curry and Dame. Harden's a better player than Curry and Dame. He's better than them. Just single player. He's better than Curry and he's better than Dame.
Not Curry.
I think he's better than Curry, man. We're going to see what Curry this year. They don't have Clay. We'll see. We're going to see. I'm not saying they're not going to make the playoffs, but Curry is going to have Wiseman. He's going to have Draymond, and he's going to have Oubre. So he's going to have to and Wiggins. So he's going to have to if he don't make the playoffs or if he's a 9 or 10, that's going to say a lot because Harden, for all his faults, Harden was getting his guys to 4 and 5, even though he flames out in the playoffs. He's getting his teams to the upper echelon of the West. So we're going to see.
Yeah, Harden can carry more because I think Steph Curry is just so small. Man, he's 6'3".
Harden can carry more, but yeah,
right. Carry more of the load because you remember when Steph Curry carries the load, man. He breaks down. He breaks down. His body breaks down. He breaks down. So even Dame Dollar usually carries a lot. He dropped 30 points a game last year, so so he could definitely carry a team. So we'll see if Steph Curry. He better make the playoffs too, man. I don't care if Klay Thompson. You got Kelly Oubre, solid starter.
Kelly's nice, yeah.
So they better make the playoffs.
Wiggins, 2nd overall pick.
Yeah.
Okay, Wiseman, he's gonna suck. I'm telling you right now. First year, I'm telling you right now, rookie year. Maybe not the rest of it, but rookie year, he's going to be irrelevant as a rookie.
12 and 10?
No. More like
I think he could do it.
More like 8. More like 8 and 8. 8 and 8.
How?
That might be all they need out of him.
No, man. They don't got Klay Thompson. They'll need scoring. They'll need
scoring,
man.
Yeah, he's going to get a little bit more than 8.
8.
Just because of attempts. He's going to get fouled, free throws. I think he'll at least get 12, 10. Yeah, I don't know about 10 rebounds, maybe not, but I could see him getting 12 points at least.
Yeah.
That'd be tough. Last topic of the day, we're going to switch to the NFL. Talk more about, I guess, the biggest surprises. It's been a lot of revelations with players and teams. And, the NFL, kind of like this pandemic's been unpredictable. So I'm going to go with Zhu and let him give you guys his biggest surprise in the NFL.
For me, man, it's got to be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers sucking it off the last couple of weeks, man. What's going on, Tampa Bay? You got Tom Brady. You got the weapons. You had the defense. But 7-5, I'm sorry, that's a mediocre record. They started off super hot 6-2, but losing all these games against all these elite defenses, man. Yeah. What is going on? I want Tom Brady versus Patrick Mahomes, and Tom Brady's not holding his end of the bargain right now, man. He's not holding his end of the bargain. He's not getting it done. He's missing throws. I got Tom Brady on fantasy teams, and I miss him. Antonio Brown, overthrew him. Oh, Mike Evans, I missed him. Those deep throws, man. He can't make those anymore, man.
He's a little off, yeah.
Dude, his accuracy's not there, and all the blame on the coaching. Shut up, Tom. Gotta win, man.
Fourth round?
Yeah, you got Bill Belichick with a bunch of nobodies winning. They're 6-6 right now.
Yeah,
that is incredible. That roster was depleted by guys just saying, COVID, see you guys later. No, actual quarterback. And Cam Newton got COVID. Their QB got COVID. So the entire roster was beaten down with a bunch of no-name wide receivers and running backs. Man, they miss on a lot of players. I blame Bill for missing out on drafting DK Metcalf and AJ Brown. They took N'Keal Harry. You saw DK Metcalf at the combine and you didn't want that guy?
He walks into Pete Carroll's office the first time and he doesn't even wear his shirt. That's all.
Don't need to, man. Guy looks like he's built like Zeus, man. Get that guy in your roster, man. Compared to Megatron, so
better believe I do.
Oh man, they missed out on him. So they're lacking in talent, and they're going 6-6, which is super impressive. And I'm just sorry, man. Tampa Bay, man. I feel like this season's a long, long season. They can still get to 10, 11 wins. But right now, they're the wild card.
Yeah.
That's bad. They're lucky. They're lucky this year they got an extra playoff spot. They're lucky.
I agree. I think that everyone knew that the Saints, I guess I should say with Drew Brees, everyone was kind of saying that the Saints might still win the division. Bucks, I know I called the Bucks winning that division, but it was going to be both of those teams are going to make it to the playoffs. I think the last wild card team right now in the NFC might be 6-6 at best, possibly 5-7. But I think my biggest surprise has been the flip of the NFC East. I think that we're so used to Eagles and the Cowboys going at it. No matter what their record is, they're always the ones going at it. And now we have the Washington football team and the New York Giants. And you know what? This is going to end up being one of the most horribly great endings to a season for a football division ever. It's so great because Washington has a great defense. You saw what they did to the Steelers, Andy.
Yeah, I don't know. Big Ben, man. What happened?
Yeah.
What happened?
They have a good defense. And Alex Smith, after he finally got his legs, underneath him, a comeback player of the year, they need to rename it after him. Swear to God. But he's not making as many mistakes now. I think he's finally coming into his own. If Gibson stays healthy, I don't know his status at the moment, but he's a good running back. He's definitely one of the bigger surprises if you're talking about an individual basis this year. But I got to also shout out the Browns, 9-3.
That is impressive.
They dumped on the Titans in the first half.
That was a bad game.
I thought I was dead in the water. Ryan Tannehill ends up leading a comeback, making it look respectable. It was not.
He got a lot of garbage points, man.
He got great garbage points. It was a disrespectful performance against the Titans. Great game by the Browns. First winning season in 13 years, so I got to give them a shout out there. And then also the Dolphins. I think that they're one of the surprises this year. They're only a game out of first place in the AFC East.
Incredible.
Pretty absurd. Brian Flores.
And their point differential is 91. So they're like beating on teams right now.
They're the best defensive team when it comes to scoring. And they remember 2 years ago, Brian Flores, apparently all the players like hated him. Mm-hmm. Remember, like nobody wanted to talk to him. And now he let it. And now he's leading his team 8-4. They had 5 draft picks in the first 2 rounds this past year. They really built the team well, especially the defense. That's a very underrated. I think that's one of the bigger surprises as well. So this AFC East is going to be interesting. With your Patriots, coming in a bit hot lately. They're down 17-0 at the moment to the Rams. But with the Bills and Dolphins in there too, it'll be a good division.
It's highly competitive. I'm surprised, Pat, mate. You didn't mention your Chicago Bears as a surprise, man. As a surprise. 5-7 on a 6-game losing streak. Mitchell Trubisky gets benched. You told me this was his year. You told me Nick Foles, he's just a bench guy. I told you Nick Foles came to take his job because they didn't trust Mitchell Trubisky. The man ain't going to get another second contract. Because the Bears we got to dump this guy. We're going to fire everyone. We're going to let the brother go. We got to forget that this was a bad nightmare. Because I've seen Deshaun Watson just straight up balling right now, man.
3-7.
I'm sorry, man. Dude, after that disaster of a decision of trading DeAndre Hopkins for David Johnson, man. David Johnson barely played this year. Man, Duke Johnson looked as good as David Johnson this year. So you traded that guy with DeAndre Hopkins, one of the best wide receivers. He lost his best weapons, and you know what he did? Will Fuller, tutties. Brandon Cooks, tutties.
You realize they have one of the best receiving. Well, before Fuller got suspended, they have one of the best receiving cores in the league this year.
I don't know about that, man. One of the best receiving cores.
You see what Kiki Kuti did in his first game as the number 2? The man.
It's called Deshaun. It's called Deshaun Watson. The guy is a magician, man. He does crazy things. His ability to run, his leadership ability, his ability to make clutch throws, man, and his ability to take a hit and just bounce it over. Than him. Yeah, because the team is garbage, man. They don't got that elite defense like the Chicago Bears.
But they have an elite offense. They're exact opposites. We're going to see how it goes this week. They play each other.
Yeah, they got to see the man that could have changed the franchise forever, man. This was a 10 to 15-year quarterback, and they didn't take him, and they didn't fire their GM yet. What is going on? Why isn't there fire Ryan Pace billboards? We had fire guard packs. Is there fire Ryan Pace? What's going on?
Absolutely. That's what everyone's all talking about. The past
they should be. I don't see. They got to be trending on Twitter. It's got to be on everything. Some ads. Like, this man is criminal to have a job right now. It is criminal. He got away with theft. He got away with fraud of being a general manager, and more Bears fans should be pissed about it because they had a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity with a top two pick in the NFL draft, and they blew it. They blew it, man. They had a once-in-an-opportunity of a chance to win a Super Bowl.
You know what's funny, Andy? I was reading about this today because I knew you were going to bring up the Bears in this topic, and I was like, I got to be ready for this. Do you know that the Bears didn't even want Deshaun Watson at all? They only worked out Trubisky and Mahomes.
Oh, what? They didn't work the brother out. What are they looking at, man?
They didn't like his attitude. That was their reasoning.
His attitude of being good? Like, there's a reason why he got an attitude because he's a straight up baller.
The Texans clearly are not like that into him. They got rid of his best weapon. Why would you do that?
The guy got fired, man. The man got fired for doing that to Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, but my point is that the Bears were dead set on one or the other, and they probably thought The 49ers are what sold the Bears. They said, we want Mitch Trubisky really bad. They were at number 2, and the Bears they baited them, dude.
They got bamboozled, man. They got what? The 49ers leaked rumors they want Mitchell?
Yep. And then the Bears, so they made the trade up to number 2 with the 49ers, and boom. That's the history. It was bad, man.
That man should go on live television and apologize to the city of Chicago for doing oh my God. The Chicago Bears have never had a good quarterback in like the entire history of
Jim
football.
McMahon's the closest one, and he wasn't even that great.
No. Like never, man. Like who's probably the most talented? Probably Jay Cutler. Jay Cutler was the most talented quarterback in franchise history.
Monster years, low key. He had a cut with Brandon Marshall and Alshon Jeffrey. 2,000 yard receivers that year.
Because he had weapons, man. He wasn't that good, man. If they had Deshaun Watson with an Allen Robinson, man, have mercy. They would be competing with the Green Bay Packers right now. Yes.
Nah, not with Nagy.
I don't know about that.
I think they would be better than the Packers.
With Nagy.
Doesn't matter, man. Dude, Deshaun Watson and Bill O'Brien, man. Get Bill O'Brien. That guy was a disaster, man.
4-8. They're worse than the Bears. Dude, the Bears are done. I mean, they're mathematically still in it. They'd have to win out, and they do kind of have an easy schedule to end the season besides week 17 against the Packers, of course. They'll pretty much need to win out.
Yeah, they got a freebie with Jaguars who's trying to get the top pick. But the Vikings and Texans, man, they're tougher than they look based on the record.
Tougher than they look, but I think that they can get the Vikings. I think this week will be the pivotal one. And if they lose this, then they lose pretty much the rest except the Jaguars. I think it'll be a demoralizer if they lose this one.
So it looks like I'm going to win my bet again this year, man. They ain't hitting that. They ain't hitting that.
Quick question. I just thought of this on the fly, and this is more so, I guess, towards P-Bush because he's a Bears fan. You guys I don't know what you guys are going to do with Trubisky or whoever, but
let him go.
If you had a choice of these two quarterbacks, who would you trade for? Wentz or Darnold? Because I think I would trade. I want to hear your answer, but I know who I would trade for. And people will probably think I'm crazy.
Probably. The Bears right now, they needed to go offensive line because that's easily their worst positioning area right now. They have. Yeah. You saw when they played on Sunday Night Football. They put the Pro Football reference up there.
Yeah.
One of them even had a number, and they were in the bottom 5. The other ones are blank. So they need to draft a tackle, and I think that both of those guys that you just mentioned are both mobile, like relatively. I think that Darnold, with a little bit better coaching and actually having some options with a decent running game, because Montgomery's looked pretty good lately, I will say. So you can't hate on me for that. He's been hot lately.
He got some easy defenses, man. That's what it is. Easy run defenses.
Well, that's the NFC North for you. So that's a 6-game-a-year thing. You can bet on that. But, I think that Darnold would probably be the better fit because he's also younger and he doesn't have a massive $100-something million contract next to his name, which Carson Wentz, I think that's the worst contract ever. He's literally comparable to Mitchell Trubisky in every single way statistically. If you look at the breakdown, Andy, you'll laugh at that.
I've seen it.
I'm sure you have. So I don't know. I personally would like Darnold more just because he's also younger, but I would prefer neither. I think they have to bring in somebody. Personally, I would actually maybe trade for like Matt Ryan or something. And maybe just sign Trubisky to a 1 year.
Ryan?
That's not a bad option.
That man can't move at all. He's going to get killed with that O-line, man.
No, but what I'm saying, Zhu, is they're going to need to.
Do you know who can save them?
The only thing is they can't give up their draft picks, so I don't think that they will pull off a trade. So I think they'll end up drafting somebody and signing Mitch Trubisky to a 1-year deal, possibly.
Oh man!
For like $1 million, I think they will. I honestly think they will. If Nagy stays, And I don't think that that's going to be the fact.
Nagy's a good coach. He just don't have a quarterback, man. I think he's
he said, yes, I can work with Trubisky as a yes man just to get the job. And he really couldn't, and he knew that. Yeah. And he tried it really hard, and he just didn't. It wasn't a good transition. It really wasn't. They didn't handle Trubisky well at all. They really didn't.
They need Aaron Rodgers. That's what he's saying.
No shit.
I'm just saying, man. The Packers right
for 10 years. All right.
Yeah, man. The Packers relationship is not that good, man. I feel like after another playoff upset, because I think they're gonna lose in the playoffs again because their defense sucks. Aaron Rodgers be like, man, I need a defense.
You know what they need to do? I think that the NFL should merge to just 16 teams and everybody finds a pair, and the Bears and Packers merge at the offense and the defense. That team would be the greatest of all time. I swear to God. They're the biggest compliments ever.
Yeah, defense, everything. That would honestly probably would be the best team in the league, honestly.
Yo, if the Bears had drafted Mahomes and they had the players around, this would arguably be the best put together team ever.
And Mahomes would be a big
with Mahomes and that defense.
He would be a bigger legend. Like he would be a bigger legend if he was in Chicago and was doing what he was doing. He would be a bigger legend, bigger city, more.
Absolutely
has more history as a franchise. It would be.
I watched a 30-minute video on that today. A guy put out a video and simulated what would happen, and he won his first 2 Super Bowls. So,
oh god, yeah.
But look, my Bears are not. It's not as. I wouldn't even consider this a surprise. I'm used to it, but I just end up being a little hopeful, and then it falls every year, so it's really not a surprise to me.
Oh, that's understandable, cuz another year, another bet of winning against the Chicago Bears, hopefully. If they win out, they'll be impressive, but they ain't winning out.
Yeah. As always with the NFL topics, it always sparks a lot of conversation. I think one guy that I think we didn't bring up was DK Metcalf. I think that was probably my biggest surprise. I don't think anyone, maybe some people did, but I didn't see DK Metcalf doing what he was doing this year with Russell Wilson. So I thought that was a pretty big surprise. And I think they're getting what's the guy?
Josh Gordon.
Receiver, Josh Gordon.
Yeah, he's irrelevant, man.
He's kind of a bit of a knucklehead, so I don't know if it'll make any difference, but it could be if they somehow get in the playoffs. But that's all the time we have for today. We'll let you guys know we're making a lot of changes with Bullheaded, so you guys stay tuned. As always, make sure you guys subscribe to our Instagram and Twitter pages, Bullheaded_pod. A lot of great content we put up daily, weekends included. So for P-Bush and Zhu, Sean signing out.